It's Bigfoot Collectors Club with Bryce, Michael, and Ivy. I know a story of high strangeness or two. Let's do this.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Bigfoot Collectors Club, the show where we talk to amazing guests about their personal paranormal history and share stories of high strangeness. I really am starting to do these weird radio voices now in the introduction. Yeah, I don't know why. I think it's because we've been doing this now for so long that I'm trying to find new choices. You know, they say consistency is the death of good acting.
You are enough, Michael. You are enough.
I appreciate that. Well, I'm your host, Michael McMillan. With me tonight, always, is your other host,
Bryce Johnson.
And unfortunately, super producer Riley Bray will only be here in spirit. You'll hear his ambient music later in the episode. Riley is off on another top secret adventure. We think he might be working for the CIA now. There's a theory that maybe this whole podcast has been like a way for him to collect information. I'm not sure about that. Speculate wildly as
we would not be a good source of information for a double agent. Yeah,
worst CIA op in history.
Yeah, totally, guys. You are not going to believe what I just heard.
I'm surprised we haven't been accused of being CIA agents yet. I feel like all the good paranormal unknown podcasts, people start accusing the hosts of being in on it, which maybe we are. Maybe we are, guys. All right. Well, let's do this. Who our guests might also be secret agents.
Right.
They are three boys with bad brains who speculate on all upcoming movies, TV shows, and comics. I mean, we have nothing but love for those subjects here in the clubhouse. Join them every week for an assortment of unfounded, unresearched, and unsubstantiated predictions on their podcast, Baseless Speculation. Club Scouts of all timelines, please welcome to the show Joel Duscher, Joel Zammit, and Jackson B. Bailey.
How you doing? You a little early there? That was good. That was funny.
Heard my name and was like, I'll jump in.
Hello.
So, yeah, there you go.
That's me. I'm not.
Look, we got two Joels. You got to establish your voice early and aggressively up top.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hey, what's up? I'm one of the Joels. But yeah, I
I'm
guess
the other Joel. So to avoid confusion, if you could just refer to me as Joel, and I guess if you can take that away, Joel, so they understand that your voice, they can separate you from me, Joel.
Yeah, so if you want to refer to me, Joel also works.
Yeah. You are both named Joel.
Wait, I'm still confused.
It's very simple.
So yeah, I'm Joel Duscher. That's Joel Zammit, and
I'm Jackson Bailey. I'm not a Joel.
Yeah,
I have thought about becoming one though.
Yeah, it'd be great for our podcast. Three Joels in a pod.
I think that would be. Yeah, that'd be.
It feels
really
like the idea is almost there, guys. It's almost fully formed. If you could just get one more Joel, I think that would. We really got a show.
That'd be smart. If you're listening to this podcast, you're a Joel and you have experience in podcasting, hit us up at baselessspeculation@gmail.com. We will fire Jackson for you.
I think the new address is joelmail.com, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, boys, you are down in Melbourne, Australia, correct?
Melbourne is correct.
Melbourne?
Yep.
I said it incorrectly.
Melbourne.
Bryce.
Yeah. Melbourne.
Bryce, you should ask them about their local Sasquatch and whether or not they're acquainted with them.
Okay, are you guys acquainted with your local Sasquatch?
The Yeti?
The Yowie.
Yeah, well, yeah, the Yowie.
The Yeti from Nepal? Oh, wait.
It's all the same thing. We've covered
Yowie, drop bears. What else do we have? No, that's a big koala.
Yeah.
The Yowie. We also have the Yahoo, don't we?
The Yahoo?
Yeah, I've heard somewhere.
That is a website. Are you getting confused?
You mean, are you talking about Australian actor, like beloved Yahoo Serious?
Young Frankenstein, of course.
No.
Young Einstein, not Young Frankenstein.
As far as I understand it, we have two mystery apes in Australia, possibly more.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I only was familiar with the one. Okay.
we have the Yowie, which is the larger one, the one that's like 7 foot, 8 foot tall, and then the Yahoo, which is far smaller and more like a regular ape rather than a man ape.
So just a monkey.
It's just a monkey. Yeah.
That's
What
wild.
other
I've never
weird-
heard of the Yahoo. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm googling it right now. Of course, I'm googling Yahoo Australia, and then just Yahoo, the website, is popping up. What?
Where does Yahoo Serious come? Surely he's in the front page, right? Beloved character actor Yahoo Serious. What's he up to?
I don't know. Yahoo Japan pops up before Yahoo Serious does.
Ah.
Do you guys really have a giant koala cryptid down there? I heard someone say.
Drop
Sort
there.
of.
Wow.
Yeah. It's not really a cryptid. It's like you know how like in Scotland people say that the haggis is an animal? They say the haggis is an animal that has one short leg and 2 long legs and can only go around hills.
Do they?
Yeah, they
I
do.
thought haggis was just sheep intestines that people ate.
Well, that's the great secret is that's all a haggis is.
Drop bears is like a touristy cryptid joke in Australia that I guess doesn't really happen anymore. But it'd be like, if you're going camping, don't camp under the trees because you look out for drop bears.
Yeah,
because koalas actually make.
They make a horrible sound.
Terrible noise.
Yeah.
One you don't expect from something that's like pretty small and relatively cute from a distance. They have horrible little faces.
Can I speak of koalas and conspiracies and such? Can I talk about a conspiracy that I think I've come across at the koala reservation I was at recently?
Great.
So
Let's hear it.
I swear to God, the last time I was at this koala, it's like a kind of reservation where they keep the koalas safe or whatever on this island, Phillip Island near Melbourne. And I swear to God, when I went there last, there was a video about a time they tried to make a koala into a little boy. Like they dressed the koala up like a little boy and tried to raise it like a little boy. Like that experiment you were looking into where they raised an ape as a little boy.
Yeah.
Is this like a real life Blinky Bill kind of thing?
Yeah, but it was. I swear to God, it was there. But I went this time and it was nowhere to be seen.
Did you ask everyone about it?
No.
Is it because you were scared you'd come across as insane as you are currently?
I didn't want to be killed.
Is it because you were afraid that you were that little boy and you were actually a koala?
I was actually looking at my memories.
Well, Jack, I don't know if you know this about koalas, but in terms of the animal kingdom, they have some of the smoothest brains. Like they are dumb as shit.
Yeah.
Like you put like eucalyptus leaves, scatter them on a table in front of a koala. It won't know to eat that because it doesn't realize that is its food source.
That was an awesome thing I learned at the reservation.
There's similarities between you and a koala.
That was set up to bullying. I didn't realize. I learned at the reservation that the koalas will sometimes, because they can only eat eucalyptus leaves, and sometimes they'll climb trees that aren't eucalyptus trees.
And then just die of starvation?
No, they eat the leaves. Because they're so dumb that they're like, I'm in a eucalyptus tree right now. Wouldn't be anywhere else. And then they eat the leaves that provide them no nutrition or sustenance and die. Koalas are so funny, man.
And they all have chlamydia.
Yeah, exactly.
They're also extremely flammable, I think, because of the eucalyptus.
Yeah, they go up like a bomb. Australia is a funny country.
Yeah, so in many ways, Australia as a country is basically a cryptid. The rest of the world should look at us and be like,
not real.
Something went wrong there.
I like that theory that the whole continent is just a giant cryptid just swimming around in the ocean. That works.
I'm really interested in this mini foot, this Yahoo. Are there a lot of reports of this, or are they?
I'll tell you where I feel like I read about
seriously at all.
I think I read about the Yahoo as my whole life have been a big cryptozoology guy ever since I was like 10. And I'm sure I read about the Yahoo in some big book of like all of the mystery animals of the world, and the Yahoo was included in it. So I don't know how verifiable it is as an actual cryptid. Something I do know
is it the bunyip? Or is it
no, it's not
different?
The bunyip. The bunyip's another guy.
Yeah.
There was I
found a drawing for you.
There you go.
And it's just for you, Jackson.
Thank you.
There's one in West Virginia. The Yahoo or Yahoo is West Virginia's most infamous Bigfoot. As its name implies, the Yahoo makes a terrifyingly loud squall, which, you guessed it, is a loud Yahoo! It just sounds like Mario.
Yeah. Woohoo!
Yeah, Mario's a cryptid in Australia too.
Yeah.
Hey, I've just pulled up the Yowie. And look, this is a very trustworthy source. I don't know if you guys get it in America, but it's wikipedia.org.
Oh, okay.
And one of
Heard
the
of it?
subheadings of the Yowie page is rejection of the Yowie in favor of the Yahoo.
There you go.
Oh,
Sure.
wow. Okay.
Oh,
Weird.
Yeah.
Interesting.
A lot of red links.
Okay. Is this the same thing as the Yarama Yuahu? Like, there's a different name sort of for it. It's either a vampire, goblin, a frog mutant, or a mini monkey man.
Could be.
All three of those
Okay.
things are awfully similar.
Yeah.
It sounds like just in Australia, you guys just name all your cryptids with a Y and a oo somewhere in there, or an O,
Yeah.
or an ow. The bunyip is kind of interesting. It's got a very cute name, but it seems very deadly.
Yeah. It'll drag you into swamps or whatever if you go near it, and it'll take you down. I
Sort of
remember
like a kelpie.
Yeah. I like a theory that I read somewhere as to what a Yowie, a bunyip is that it was just like a bushranger or a criminal hiding under a bunch of like leaves and mud in a lake, and they would poke their head up and then
Do some
murders or whatever, and everybody's oh, it's probably a bunyip or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, because the bunyip MO was drowning, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Dragging down under the waters like a crocodile would do.
Well, also, that's just the kangaroo also does that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Wait, what? No.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so
You didn't know that?
I would be so excited if kangaroos dragged people underwater just held them down and just they were out of the water, but they held them down with their heads under the water and just drowned them like a vicious like bathtub strangling.
Yeah. This is what they do. So if you ever see a kangaroo on a beach and it'll kind of like start hopping into the shallows and you're like, oh my God, cute, the kangaroo, he's going for a swim, and maybe you go and follow it. That's what the kangaroo wants. It wants to lure you in because then it will genuinely drown you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that term.
Great.
Do
I love
some murders. Hey, what are you up to this weekend? You want to do some murders? Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, okay, that sounds good.
It just sounds nice.
Yeah,
So
like
boys, No, go ahead, please.
I was going to say, when Wolf Creek came out, everyone was like, "Whoa, Australia seems scary," but to us, we're like, "That's like a guy's not scary."
Yeah, that's just a guy. You know, it's like, the true monster is man. We're like, no.
It's everything.
It's the environment. It's existing.
I thought you guys were absolutely fucking with me. There are articles about kangaroos drowning dogs. This is wild.
100%.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, our native wildlife. Yeah. Our native wildlife fucking hates dogs for some reason. Like wombats. Oof. Yeah, where you going, Jack?
Well, another thing. So wombats who just look so harmless. What they'll do is
set people on fire.
If a dog chases a wombat into its wombat hole, it will get underneath the dog and then use its bulk to crush the dog against the roof of its burrow. A lot of our animals have developed ways of killing dogs previously unknown. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Bigfoot kills dogs. That's the thing about Bigfoot that we Bigfoot lovers don't really want to acknowledge, but they do kill dogs.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah,
like for sport or for food?
I think a little bit of both.
Yeah. Damn.
So, gentlemen, we ask all of our guests on this show, we've talked a little bit about the cryptozoology of Australia. We've talked about some legendary creatures and the fact that Australia is itself a cryptid. What, if any, is your personal paranormal history? Have any of you ever experienced something that you could not explain?
Well, recently, I would say in like the last 6 months, I went on and look, the start of this is going to probably explain the end of this. I went on a ghost tour of an abandoned asylum.
Oh, yeah.
With some friends. And usually with ghost tours that I've been on before, like they're always a bit of fun and like, ooh, spooky. But usually, at least the ones I'm familiar with, they would pretty much all build up to like one room where they'd have some kind of climax where something not that spooky happens, but because there's been like 45 minutes of walking through scary areas and then all of a sudden like someone's ghost detector tool goes off. You're like, where with this one, we got there, and then we're like, all right, we're gonna start at the morgue. The morgue has a scary vibe, but there's no ghosts because ghosts don't haunt where they were already dead. And we were like, oh, okay. And then every single room on the ghost tour was just like every instrument that the person doing the tour was hosting was just going off constantly, which was fun and spooky. And some of the people I was with were like full on terrified.
Yeah.
But then we were allowed to explore like a big. It was pretty much like the sleeping quarters of the asylum, and it had like a big wrecked bathroom with like broken mirrors and like dirty baths and stuff like that. And a point of discussion on this ghost tour was that it was a pretty cold night, but I'd chosen to wear shorts. So
You're one of those guys.
Yeah. I was like, it was hot during the day, and they were like, it's cold now. And I was like, yeah, I'm wearing a long sleeve t-shirt. Like, that's not anyway. Went into this bathroom, and we had the was it EMF reader? No, it was
EMV.
It was the ghost tool where Spirit Box.
Oh yeah,
where like you ask a question and it'll be like static for yes or 2 blasts of static for no or whatever. That's a Spirit Box. Yeah. So had a Spirit Box, and I was just wandering around with one of my friends. And I was like, "Is there any ghosts here?" And I was like, "Yes." I was like, "Were you a patient or were you?" It's like, "Were you a patient? No. Were you a doctor? Yes. Were you mean to the patients? Very aggressive. Yes. Did you like your job? Very aggressive. Yes. Do you like my shorts?" And then a very, very, very aggressive no to the point that the person that was standing with me. No.
Take them off, quick! Take them off.
Off.
So yeah, then people didn't want to be near me because the
ghosts hate your shorts.
The ghosts hated my shorts.
God.
It's great that it seems like it's coming from a place of like practicality. The ghost just like it's same problem everyone else had. Aren't you cold?
So let me ask: did you feel a legitimacy to these specters or to this supposed haunting in that place?
I will say that because it was like 11 p.m. at night in a very big asylum, that like parts of it were so decrepit that we weren't allowed in because of building codes and stuff like that. Even though I personally do not believe, it was like the vibes were there of like if someone that believed in ghosts was there, they would have been freaking out because like. The activity was through the roof, but it never really got like. So it meant there was just like no points where you were like, oh, I'm not on edge anymore.
Yeah.
And like there was like a lot of big open areas where they'd set up some stuff. So then like you'd get like the sound of a toy detector going off like 50 meters away, but from behind you, and you'd be like, whoa. Anyway, it was good stuff. Legitimacy though, I guess you know what? They would have loved my shorts if it was real.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I would have been like, it's practical. He's walking up and down stairs.
His top's hot.
Yeah. He's got a long sleeve.
That's enough. Why is that not enough?
How is that any different from jeans and a t-shirt?
I'm undead, and I get it. Undead.
How about you, Joel Z? What's your personal paranormal history? Anything strange or out of the ordinary in your life?
Not really. I'm fairly oblivious to the most times. I'm not really a believer. I think most things can be explained away. And yeah, if anything kind of spooky happens, I don't think I have the best reaction times. So if something genuinely scary happens, everyone's running, and I'm like, wait, why? Oh, okay.
What's going on? Oh,
huh? Oh, I see. Yeah. But no, I think all I can kind of think of is like certain coincidences here and there, but they're just more for like more like. So I guess an interesting. So when I was. Yeah. So before we went to like do like a UK tour, my then girlfriend, before we went, she told me, whatever you do, don't fall in love with a brunette who loves spicy food. Like a pro of nothing. I don't know why. I don't know why they said this. I genuinely don't.
This story.
I mean, yeah.
I haven't heard this story, but I also know what happens.
You know the end. So, like, again, a pro of nothing, right? Like, I don't know why they even mentioned such a thing. Anyway, so that trip is where I met my future wife, a brunette who loves like spicy food. So. I guess she just knew. She just knew. So wow. I think I might have spurned a prophecy witch, but I'm happily married now, and that's nice.
Cut
that does seem
to
more than
your
coincidence.
relationship with that ex-girlfriend and all the times you guys were in an Indian restaurant, you were just checking out brunettes left and right.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she knew
Makes
because
sense,
she was
makes sense.
watching how you were behaving in certain
I'm like,
situations.
damn, look at that brunette eating that damn vindaloo. Fuck. Wish you could.
You're out.
That's a wild thing to say to someone.
Yeah.
Like,
I know,
hey,
right?
while you're away for 6 weeks, don't fall in love with these very specific things.
Yeah.
Was there
It does seem a little
ever
precognitive, yeah.
Yeah.
was there ever a moment that afforded to you where you could ask her, why did you say that?
No, because like for a while, I just do in my head, like I was like, oh yeah, that she was wrong because my now wife, like, oh, she's got like dark hair, like black hair, and then I told this story to her, and she looked at me and she's like, no, I'm brunette, I have brown hair, and I went, no, you don't, and then I like looked at her hair, and I'm like, yes, you do. As I said.
Nice.
Top of the story, oblivious.
Yeah. It's nice to look at your wife for the first time, I guess.
At which point, I'm interested. I actually want to unpack this a little bit, Zammit. At which point did you start to go, holy shit, my girlfriend is onto something here? Like, because there had to be. I mean, I don't want to we don't have to get into too many details, but there had to be a moment in this trip where you're like, oh no, I think I do like this brunette. And when when you found out that she likes spicy foods, did it blow your mind?
Basically, yeah, like literally the moment I saw her, like it was kind of almost like in my brain just kind of went, oh no. To like, my partner, she's like, I don't believe in love at first sight, and I'm like, well, I do, and she's like, shut up.
It makes me sick.
Yeah. So for me, it was like very instantaneously, and then finding out like she likes Indian food was like also a bit like that's not a shock for some reason, but also a bit of a like, huh.
A witch told me, so it makes sense.
Oh, like the witch says.
Yeah. Which kind of made all right, now I have this delicate situation with a witch I've been dating for a few years.
I just found out she's a witch.
Yeah.
It's such a funny way to break it to her. Be like, hey, you know your powers of prophecy? They're real.
It's over. By the way, you're psychic.
Yeah. It's over, but you knew this, right? Going in. Yeah.
I think if I said that to someone, I would have been like, I put that idea in their head. This is my doing anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is in many ways a different type of powerful. I changed someone's life with a sentence.
Worse for me, but still cool that I did it.
Yeah.
Well, statistically, Jackson, that makes you've got to be a believer then, right? You've got to.
I think I'm the most believer out of all of them.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
All right.
You have a famous I saw a ghost horse story.
Yeah, I did see a ghost horse once.
No way.
Okay.
So my parents lived somewhere quite rurally, and one day, me and about 5 friends, we were walking down this road nearby called near their house called Ninx Road. Ninx, I think we found out later as well, is like from some culture a god of the underworld, which just makes it even spookier. And the road we were walking on passed through a basically this town used to have like this town north, which was when the town was much bigger, was like another suburb of this town. But over the years, it had become abandoned and you kind of couldn't tell, but there was an abandoned town there. And so we were walking down trying to see if we could see any abandoned buildings or whatever. And earlier in our walk, we had heard a horse, and horses are scary. Horses whinny, at night in dark. It's spooky. It's like a scream. So we were all a bit on edge. This is just like worth knowing.
Yeah,
we were on edge about horses, And then as we kept walking, we see in front of this tree a little black pony. It's not really a horse. It's kind of a ghost pony, but ghost horse sounds better.
Shadow pony?
Yeah, a little shadow pony. And we were all really excited. Our horse fear diminished, gone, because it was a pony on the road. And we were like, oh my God, we could maybe touch it. That would be cool.
Touch a pony.
So we went up to touch the pony. We got like maybe within half a meter from it, and it bolted around behind the tree. And we were all like, we're not letting that pony get away.
Gotta chase that pony.
So all of us went around the tree to try and find the pony, and it had completely disappeared. And we were like, there's nowhere feasibly this pony could have gone.
Except the afterlife.
Except back to heaven. Yeah.
Because you know that pony's from heaven. He's too cute to be a pony from hell.
Absolutely.
Nink's from the underworld, from the other place.
I mean, come on. Yeah.
And I guess, like, did you ever consider, because, like, ghosts, it's often thought that they're on Earth because they have, like, some, like, unfinished business.
Yeah.
Do you reckon that means that pony's unfinished business was getting chased by a group of little boys?
I think
by little boys, I mean, I know you won't anyone.
Yeah.
Little koala boys.
I reckon it was. I reckon that that ghost horse got to ascend after that. Yeah.
Did it seem apparition like, or was it? Did it seem very
it's a
physical
weird
in
thing.
nature?
Because when we first saw it, all of us were like, "This is a horse, right?" We were like, or a pony. We were like, "This is a little black pony." And I even remember somebody saying, like, "Oh, maybe it's like a miner's pony." I don't know why somebody said that, but they did. And we were like, "Oh my god!" And I think at the time we all thought it was physical, but after it disappeared, none of us could really remember specifically what it looked like. Like we kind of when we tried to remember back, we were like, "What actually did it look like?" Can you remember like details or features on the pony? And nobody can. But over the years, I've discussed this sighting with a bunch of friends, and everybody's got a kind of different interpretation of it. One friend thinks that it was in a field like miles away from us, which is just absolutely not true.
Weird.
But yeah, so it's kind of distorted over the years.
They're the ones that misremember. I remember.
Why would we go and try and pat it if it was miles away in the field?
I hate to break it to you, Jackson. That friend didn't see the pony. They just wanted to seem cool, like they did see the pony. I see a pony. Me too.
There is a commonality there. Like, so when you have a let's call it a mass sighting, or somebody more than like 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, oftentimes they'll experience completely different things, see different they'll be able to count different amounts of entities, and so there is these different perspectives of stories. One of the most famous cases is the aerial school phenomenon, where all these kids saw a craft land, and they all sort of described these beings a little bit differently. They described different amounts of beings. And so there's this idea that perhaps, you're enclosed in this sort of bubble, and it can alter your perception.
A reality distortion field.
Distortion field. But that's an interesting clue as to, you probably definitely saw a shadow pony.
I saw something. Yeah.
I wonder if it was some sort of shapeshifter, you know what I mean? Some sort of thing that was appearing as a horse and was like, wait a minute, I better shrink down to a little pony.
I'm going to get patted. I'm going to get
I'm about to,
I don't know.
You know those like images of death riding a horse, like that kind of death on the pale horse kind of thing. So I do like that for some reason, instead of that, you have like a miniature pony. It's this kind of idea. It was just like, is this kind of like, I don't know, like death, like who appears for other horses. So if it was like horse death, I don't think he would appear on like the back of a horse, because that'd be weird, right? So it's got to do one step down, right? So maybe it's just appearing on the back of a pony. And maybe sort of further.
There's a chapter
you saved the horse's life that night by scaring off the death horse.
That's true.
So, new theory, which I like, just to put all this together.
Yeah.
So that horse that scared you at the start of the evening, it was meant to die that night.
It was scared because it was dying.
Then you saw Death Horse.
Yeah.
Then you scared Death Horse, so that horse that scared you lived another day.
I like that we scared Death Horse because it's still a horse and skittish. like it's a conspector of death, but it's still like, whoa, I'm frightened. I'm going back.
So the horse brain kicks in.
Also, the second ghost horse story we have heard this month.
This month. That's crazy.
Yeah. Last week, in fact, we had a ghost horse staring in someone's window.
Oh, that's scary.
At their haunted grandmother's house. Yeah.
Oh, that's so scary.
Was the window was it second story as well? Don't tell me what instrument was.
It was actually the fifth story. It was a massive. This one was a massive pony. It was a massive.
Oh, that's so scary.
Yeah.
When we first saw it, we weren't scared. We were excited, and then when it disappeared, we all became scared and ran back to the car.
Yeah,
that's how I feel like something's going on. Some of the weird stuff that I've had. At first, you're not scared because you just think you walk into it with the rational mind operating, and then it's only when something goes sideways that you're like, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, this is a normal ghost horse.
I know that this part's probably gone on for ages, but I just remembered a story similar that I had from when I was a child. And I think I've told you this before.
I think I know this story. I'm glad you're going to tell it. It's a good story.
So, like, one morning, I would have been like 7 or 8. I woke up like too early. So say like 4:30 or 5 a.m. And I mustn't been able to get back to sleep. And I walked through the layout of my house at that time was like, my bedroom was connected to like a hallway that went to like the kitchen and then like the living room area. And then my parents' bedroom was off the living room. So I had to walk through the whole house. I woke up and I walked through the kitchen area. And as I took like the 2 steps down into the lounge room, there was just like 5 or 6 ravens that I saw just in the lounge room and was like, whoa, like got scared because it was like birds.
Yeah. Birds where they're not meant to be.
Then like walked back to my room. And then was like, my brain was just, I guess, like, oh, it's all right. I can sneak past the birds. So then went back and they weren't there. But like, I like remember like standing there. It wasn't just like I saw it out of the corner of my eye, but I just remember standing there and they're like, just in like a circle.
That's scary. They were in a circle because it seems like that makes me think they were having a meeting.
Yeah.
Well, you interrupted their meeting. That's man. They were probably telling stories. They see you. They're like, I got to reschedule now.
Yeah,
that's a symbolic bird too. The raven. That's pretty. That's interesting.
Well,
man.
they say that and the ghosts can manifest, spirits can manifest as animals. So maybe in both of your cases, you had some sort of shape shifting spirits. I think that is very bizarre. Those ravens were just hanging out. Did you hear them like flutter and fly away?
No, and they were just standing still. But I remember it was like a circle, but it was like kind of near like where the TV unit and TV was, and one of them was on the TV.
Oh, like he was holding court.
So he was holding court, yeah?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, is it possible your parents were shapeshifters and they were having a shapeshifter meeting?
Yeah.
Did
they all stop and look at you? Did they all just kind of like,
they just carried on?
Yeah.
Well, they weren't doing anything. They were just looking at each other. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. That's awesome that you can come back as an animal.
Yeah.
I'm going to come back as a horse, I reckon.
You're going to come back as a worm.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll come back as the little shadow pony and scare yourself.
That's awesome.
Maybe.
I'm traveling shadow pony.
Or that little koala that they're going to teach to be a boy.
That's true.
Unfinished business.
Yeah. My unfinished business is being a koala who becomes a man.
There you go. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to play our favorite game with the boys, and then it'll be time for this week's story of high strangeness. All right, we're sitting here with the 3 wonderful hosts of Baseless Speculation, Joel, and Jackson. I'm going to go down a list of phenomena, rapid fire style. Now, you have a spectral gun to your head. You have to come down on one side or the other if you're going to believe it or if you think it's bullshit. If you're open to it, you say believe it. If not, you say bullshit. This is a game that we call bullshit
or believe it.
And I think because there's 3 of you, what we'll do is we'll go Zammit, then Jackson, then Duscher, but try to go fast.
Yeah, no,
these rules. All right, boys, on your mark, get set, ghosts.
Bullshit.
Believe it.
Bullshit.
Bigfoot.
Bullshit.
Believe it.
Bullshit.
UFOs.
Bullshit.
Believe it.
Bullshit, I think. Iffy.
Mothman.
Believe it.
Complicated. I'll go believe it.
Bullshit.
Curses.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
Oh, believe it, I reckon. I believe in curses.
That's awesome.
But I don't think that they're that scary. I think it's kind of cool that you can do that.
Okay.
Just put enough bad vibes into someone.
Possessed dolls.
What?
Possessed
what is
dolls.
that?
Possessed
Oh,
dolls.
possessed.
Like a doll that's possessed.
I heard gestalts and I was like, bullshit.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. Annabelle.
The Bermuda Triangle.
It's complicated. Shit. Believe it.
Bullshit.
It's definitely a place.
Yeah,
but,
I mean,
like it's not a.
All right, Duscher, you're starting to drift from the rules of the game. I need to pull you back in. I need to pull you back in.
Bullshit.
Hollow Earth.
I want to believe. Bullshit.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
We'll circle back. There are alien constructs on the moon.
Bullshit.
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 Psychic visions.
Well, I want to say.
You've lived it.
Come on.
Believe it.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
I told you a beautiful story.
Dreams are really other realities, and when you fall asleep, you visit them.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
Yeah, big bullshit from me.
Time travel.
Bullshit.
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 Bending spoons with your mind.
Big bullshit.
Oh, big bullshit. Uri Geller, big bullshit.
Bullshit, but the Matrix is sick.
Entities from other dimensions visit our world.
Bullshit.
Probably bullshit.
Bullshit, sorry.
Pets see spirits.
Bullshit.
Believe it.
Bullshit.
Tarot cards.
Bullshit.
Well, I believe tarot cards are real. I've seen a deck.
Bullshit.
The Loch Ness Monster.
Bullshit.
Bullshit, tragically.
Bullshit.
The U.S. government is hiding the truth about Roswell.
Bullshit.
Believe it.
Believe it, but not in the way that you're probably expecting me to believe it.
Fair enough. You could
take it.
outsmart a werewolf.
Believe it, yeah.
Believe it. I can outsmart a dog.
I also believe it.
Planet Earth is a sentient macroorganism.
Whoa.
Oh,
That would be awesome.
that would be kind of cool.
Mushrooms.
Bullshit.
Believe it.
Bullshit. What?
The universe is looking out for you.
Bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit.
Bullshit.
Oh, big old pile.
Big time.
Finally, in our original timeline, the famous Bear family's last name was spelled Berenstein, not Berenstain.
Berenstein or Berenstain. Berenstain. Yeah, nah, that bullshit.
Bullshit.
Yeah, the Mandela effect is bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
So whatever the right answer is, that's my answer to that question. Bullshit.
My memory is
Got out of
garbage.
prison.
Yeah.
I too have a memory of when I first started reading and wondering why their names were spelled differently than they were like pronounced.
Yeah.
So I've always been part of this timeline, I guess. All right, guys. UFOs, kind of like your. I think Jackson was Believe It, but I feel like this is something that's been in the news. We've gotten a lot of examples of people not knowing what this stuff are. Now they don't necessarily have to be from another planet, but I'm sort of surprised at the bullshit. So why bullshit on UFOs, Joel's?
Well, I guess it's the bullshit with the assumption that they are like alien craft. I guess.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
You can look at something in the sky and be like, "The fuck is that?" And I'll accept that. It's happened to me many times.
Not knowing
I'm not
what
gonna
the
be like,
stuff in the sky is a human tradition.
Yeah. What's that? All right.
The answer is probably a
Okay.
fucked up bird that you've never
Yeah.
seen. But no, like, yeah, I'm kind of
Is it just like
standing in a
maybe?
circle.
Yeah. Is it like maybe just our inherent fear of a big bird? We look up and we like, what is that? Okay, I don't know what it is. It's not a big bird, so it could be aliens.
It could be anything.
Maybe that's like the last part of our ancestral link to when the fish got legs and came out of the ocean. It's like we fear birds because they can pick us up.
That is my favorite explanation for any cryptid or anything. Is I think it was some conversation somebody was having at like one of those 14, like big events they have, where they were like, okay, so you could assume that there are unknown giant apes, unknown giant lizards, giant fish, and giant birds that exist in the world. Or you could think that when we were tiny little cave monkeys, the biggest threats to us were big birds, bigger apes, creatures in the sea, or big lizards. And they're just on some level, primally, our brain is like, if anything's scary, it's something that's going to eat me, i.e. a bird, a Bigfoot, or whatever. Yeah.
They also said that Mothman might just be a heron, which is the lamest explanation for Mothman out of any of the theories.
He's a bird. Yeah, is it like he's a bird facing away from you, so his wings look like the side of a moth or whatever? I know birds don't do that for a long time.
What is Joel, you seemed open to a hollow Earth theory. Can we convince you on that?
I want to believe in Hollow Earth, provided it's the same Hollow Earth from Godzilla vs. Kong, the fictional film, where Hollow Earth is King Kong heaven. Yeah,
we're okay with that.
I love that. I like a good old fashioned Jules Verne Hollow Earth.
Absolutely, yeah, big time.
But
all right. Was there anything else you wanted to circle back to defend? Or
I guess the Roswell thing I was going to say was that I don't believe that there's a cover-up for aliens, but is the government doing something they don't want us to know about? Probably.
Chances are.
Fair enough.
I don't know. It's just, to me, I'm like, if it's going to be something, to me, I think Roswell is going to be very boring. I think Roswell is just going to be like military testing, whatever. I think if it's an interesting thing, there's that many people in a military base that they can't shut up unless they like got to kill them all. I inherently believe that like no matter like any kind of conspiracy theory, there's like that certain number where if there's something real fucked up going on, we'll know about it because not everyone can keep their mouth shut.
Well, I don't mean I'm not a government conspiracy theorist to the point where look, I just pretty much think that, it's probably just a military base where they're testing a new rocket.
Also, I have a
You basically described the Roswell incident. They were a lot of people were threatened to be killed, and then they couldn't shut up about it. So I want to check out our 3-part episode, our 3-part series on the incident. Might enlighten you a little bit.
I'll give it a little bill, I guess. Also, I just don't believe that anyone is competent enough to kind of have any kind of cover up. Like in my day-to-day life, very dumb. And I kind of assume that a lot of people are just as equally stupid and unorganized.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, especially the U.S. government. That's for sure. All right, everybody. Let's move on to this week's story of high strangeness, hosted by none other than our very own Bryce Johnson.
Well, let's dive right into it. As soon as I pull it up here. Okay, here we go. Guys, boys, crystal skulls are cool as fuck. They can help make your college dorm room super vibey and chill. They can add a metaphysical je ne sais quoi to your plant store on Ventura Boulevard. And if smashed into tiny little bits and pieces, they can then be sold to a giant tech company in order to provide accurate clock speed for their processors in the latest handheld gizmotrons. Sick! But what do we really know about the supposed legendary crystal skulls of antiquity? Unfortunately, dear listener, more than I'd like to admit. Now, as you all know, I'm a pretty open guy when it comes to the strange and unknown. And going into this subject of high strangeness, I was excited to uncover some missing details that could help us shed some light as to the origin of these supernatural skulls. Unfortunately, the more I researched, the more I found it all to be a bunch of Scheiße. Scheiße is German for shit. German comes from Germany, where most of the crystal skulls were manufactured in the late 19th century. But I digress. According to legend, or should I say, according to ancient astronaut theorists, there are supposedly a dozen of these rare crystal skulls in private and public collections. Some are crystal clear, others are smoky or colored quartz, some are actual human size, while others are smaller and less refined. Many believe these skulls were carved thousands or even tens of thousands of years ago by ancient Mesoamerican civilizations, or dare I say, extraterrestrials. While other New Age authors think they may be relics from places like Lemuria or the legendary lost city of Atlantis. Authors like Joshua Shapiro who co-wrote Mysteries of the Crystal Skulls Revealed, who claims that once in the presence of such skulls, one may obtain expanded psychic abilities or even miraculous healings.
We believe that the crystal skulls are a form of computer, which are able to record energy and vibration that occur around them. The skull will pictorially replay all events and images of the people who have come into contact with them. In other words, they contain the history of our world.
No way! Even more perplexing and mysterious is the idea that there remains a missing skull yet to be planted. Discovered. That's right. According to legend, there is a 13th skull, which not only contains information about the other skulls, but information about the origins of our universe. Seeing as how we have 3 amazing guests on our show this evening, I figured let's just save some time, cut through the bullshit, and discuss the most well-known of the crystal skulls of legend, the Mitchell-Hedges skull. Have any of you guys ever heard of the Mitchell-Hedges skull?
No, all of my knowledge of crystal skulls comes from the 4th entry in the Indiana Jones franchise, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
There were like 12 crystal skulls in that ancient temple, so it's all kind of adding up.
Yeah.
This name does ring a bell, Bryce. Is this where, I know you're going to tell us a little, did the legend of the crystal skulls begin with the Mitchell-Hedges skull?
It pretty much crystallized and concretized with the Mitchell-Hedges skull. Now, as legend has it, it was discovered in Louboutin, British Honduras, which is now Belize, in 1924 by Anna Mitchell-Hedges, adopted daughter of British adventurer and popular author F.A. Mitchell-Hedges. Anna claimed that she found the skull buried under a collapsed altar inside of a temple, which is very similar to the plotline of House 2, A Second Story, a real shit show of a horror movie, which we happily discuss in great detail on our Patreon, The Other Side, which you can go to at patreon.com/BigfootCollectorsClub. Now, in Anna's possible words...
Well, I was just traipsing along this dark corridor of the temple when I got the strangest feeling to just, get down on my hands and knees and just start digging. Manicure be damned. Well, as soon as I did, the darndest thing happened. I saw this beautifully ornate, glowing crystal skull.
Well, the only problem is, I shouldn't say the only problem, is that the others who were present at the time of the excavation had no recollection of either the skull's discovery nor Anna's presence at the dig. Not to mention that even her daddy, Frederick Mitchell-Hedges, sometimes known as Mike, makes no mention of the skull in his archaeological journals of Louboutin's excavation. Now, do you guys think the fact that people just called him Mike as opposed to Frederick Albert Mitchell-Hedges could have undermined some of his archaeological credibility?
Hey, wait a minute. Mike is a fine nickname for a fine gentleman of high esteem.
Me
I
too.
don't know. On the Michael scale, where does Mike fit? You got Mikhail at the top, right?
Yeah,
Mick down the bottom.
Is Mick or Mickey lower, do you reckon? No,
I've been called all
Mickey
3.
Something to think about. Now,
Mickey Mouse.
Question,
Come on, that guy's a champion.
Yeah, that's true.
The skull in question is made from a block of clear quartz about the size of a small human cranium, measuring around 5 inches high, 7 inches long, and 5 inches wide, with a lower jaw that detaches. Legend has it, the skull maintains a constant temperature of 70 degrees. Those crafty little aliens.
Perfect
Jackson
short
B.
weather, Duscher.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
70 degrees. That's real hot, cold.
70 degrees in Celsius to translate for us is low 20s.
Yeah.
For us, it's like perfect t-shirt, shorts weather. Walk outside and it feels like a comfy room.
Oh, that's too cold for shorts.
38 degrees Celsius is 100 degrees Fahrenheit, if that helps. I don't know why I knew that.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, JD. Didn't.
Yeah. Kind of
Jackson B.
over my head.
The 5D Superman memory crystal technology must maintain a constant temperature of 70 degrees Fahrenheit, or it will be in danger of losing the plotted light course to the Alpha Centauri star cluster.
Now, to help bolster her claims of its rare Mesoamerican antiquity, or possibly of an even earlier unknown civilization, Anna and an art dealer buddy of hers, okay, who had a connection at Hewlett-Packard, a tech company in Palo Alto, made arrangements for the skull to be examined at their famed crystal laboratories, where it was subjected to several tests. Now, the lab was able to determine that it was fashioned from a single crystal of quartz, and also that the lower jaw had been fashioned from the same left-handed growing crystal as the rest of the skull. Basically, they were like, cool skull. It was only after Mayanist archaeologist Norman Hammond reported that the holes, presumed to be intended for support pegs, showed signs of being made by drilling with metal that Anna Mitchell-Hedges refused to allow any more scientific testing on the skull. And if to make matters worse for Anna and her skull, recent evidence has come to light showing that F.A. Mitchell-Hedges purchased the skull at a Sotheby's auction in London on October 15, 1943, from London art dealer Sidney Burney. Mike disclosed his purchase of the crystal skull in a letter to his brother dated December of 43, stating plainly that he had acquired it from Burney. Busted! But even that didn't stop Anna from touring with her skull and charging people to see it like a deceased Bigfoot corpse in a Cater-Gator cooler, or using its magical properties to predict the JFK assassination, as well as try and kill a man with it. Unfortunately, for other legendary skulls like the Paris skull, the Smithsonian skull, and the British Museum skull, all basically similar versions to the Mitchell-Hedges skull, sans the removable lower jaw. New advances in dating technology like electron microscope analysis, as well as QHD, or quartz hydration dating, has revealed what many skeptics and scientists had already surmised, that the legend of the crystal skulls are Scheiße!
It belongs in a museum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Jury's still out, it seems. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know. Believe it.
Yeah. Time will tell. Time will tell.
Michael, you know me. As much as I wanted to find something cool or paranormal, I just couldn't do it.
I will say this: the difference here, boys, is that Bryce clearly didn't grow up with this knowledge of the crystal skulls, because if you had, Bryce, I think you'd be defending them in this episode, but because you're newly researching them, you're like, this is bullshit.
Yeah,
I think I had heard the same stuff that over the past couple years, I'd say decade, this sort of legend of the crystal skulls had been fading. The thing that I always remembered when I was a kid, there was a story in a book that maybe my sister had, and it might have been the British Museum skull, that some Victorian family had kept the skull in their house. And when they go to bed at night, they would hear like a large cat roaming, like a panther roaming around the house, and they'd hear like scratching at the doors. And that always freaked me out as a kid, or that you could look into a skull and sort of scry and see the future and see visions.
Well, that I don't have a problem with, because you could basically scry into anything, and you know what? You can also imbue magical properties into just about any talisman you want. So if people really did believe wholeheartedly that these objects held some significant supernatural power, then perhaps they could have been imbued with some type of property, giving them sort of that elusive magical element. But with these new advances in dating technology, and it just really revealed sort of an appropriation of these like Mesoamerican artifacts, and so it was kind of like a wah wah wah.
We know how she tried to kill a man with it. That's
how accurate the prediction of the death of JFK was. Those are the two things.
By just hitting
you
him.
Could, like if she used it like a rock.
Yeah, that's heavy.
I don't know. You're gonna have to, or just like hold the eyes out to you. Get this.
Just looking at her like, what are you doing?
Yeah. You think if she was like, I'm looking for volunteers, I need somebody to come and sit in a chair. I'm going to try and kill you with this skull. You'd have done it.
Well, it depends on how she was trying to kill me with it.
No, she's like, just using the magic inherent in the crystal skull. I'm going to try and kill you.
So you sit down and stare at the crystal skull?
Yeah.
If she doesn't kill me, do I get what do I get?
Nothing. If you die, you prove the skull is magic. It's a sort of ducking situation. like ducking a witch.
All right,
yeah.
I would be scared that if I volunteered, that if it didn't kill me, she'd just shoot me with a gun.
Yeah, that's fair. Kill you to make it so that it seems like
the crystal skull's mouth opens and a gun is just in the jaw.
Damn it.
Yeah.
A cool cigarette lighter.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I appreciate it, Bryce. And if anything, this just shows that you truly are open-minded and able to come to the table as a skeptic from time to time.
Hey, man, I call him like I see him.
I love it. All right, boys, thank you so much for joining us. Joel, Jackson. Where can people find the show? Where can people find you guys? Do you have any other projects that you would like to plug?
Well, I guess you can find us wherever you find good podcasts. Find podcasts. You can just search for Baseless Speculation. Also, we do another podcast together called Plumbing the Death Star. And we do a bunch of other stuff, all available on the sanspantsradio.com website. We played D&D. What else we do? Thumb cramps.
Games. You
do that.
Thumb cramps. Yeah.
So basically, if you're looking for any genre of podcast except good,
we've
got it covered.
We've got you sorted.
Well done.
If you're you've listened to every podcast and you're at what you might call the bottom of the barrel, and it's time to start scraping. That's when you want to listen to that podcast.
Hi, hello. Look, do you often need a podcast that you need to listen to make you stupider? Well, we've got several on our network. Do you want to come to listen to something and come across a fact that you will happily repeat at a party, and then everyone will be like, hang on, where did you hear this? And then instantly fact check you and you are wrong? Well, just listen to Plumbing the Death Star, or Shut Up a Second, or Thumb Cramps, Base Speculation, or anything really.
Well, it sounds like we all have a lot in common.
The big one though, which is also part of Wood Elf Network, much like you guys are, is Baseless Speculation. But yeah, I guess it is worth noting, and this is a real life story. Earlier today, I was talking to a friend about guesting on a podcast, and they said, who's on it? And I said, the regular Baseless Speculation boys, Dumber, and Dumber. And that was how I described it to a friend that doesn't listen to the podcast.
That's really good. That's really good.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I know that our listeners are definitely going to want to check those shows out. Thank you so much for being with us, boys.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, thanks so much for having us.
Yeah.
Okay, we want to thank the boys from Baseless Speculation one more time. And before we say goodbye, Club Scouts, do us a favor. If you love the show, please follow, rate, and review us on your favorite podcast app. And if you write us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, we might read it on the show, like this one.
From you/Artifactland69, who writes, "You're a blast. You guys have got me hooked on orbs. I can't wait for you guys to have Bigfoot on. 5 stars.
I love it. I think that's the first time anyone said we've got him hooked on orbs.
Hell yeah, man. Orbs are a thing, man.
Orbs are great. If you're hooked on orbs and you need more BCC in your life, as Bryce mentioned earlier, you can join our Patreon, BCC The Other Side, for 3 additional exclusive bonus episodes every month. That's over at patreon.com/BigfootCollectorsClub. Be sure to follow us on Instagram. You really want to do that because that's where all the visual stuff that we talk about goes. You're really not getting the full show unless you're following us on Instagram. I'll just say that, at Bigfoot Collectors Club, and on TikTok at BCC Pod. And yes, we are still on Twitter at Bigfoot Pod. Check that out. And don't forget to write in with your own paranormal stories to BigfootCollectorsClub@gmail.com and include the phrase L-Files in the subject line. It might just be read on a future episode. Please check out my other podcasts. Slate Your Name, Season 1 and 2 are available right now wherever your fine podcasts can be found. Follow me on Instagram at McMills and hit me up on Cameo for a personalized video from me to you or a loved one.
Absolutely. And look, if you can't get enough of Bigfoot and want a serious side, check out my other show, Expedition Bigfoot, which is on Travel Channel and Discovery Plus app. We have 3 seasons up there. We are a team of scientists and researchers hitting the ground to look for conclusive evidence for the existence of Bigfoot. Check us out.
All right, we're headed over to the other side for a monumental episode. We are doing a ghost hunt at Riley's in the official BCC clubhouse.
Seriously, if you guys have been thinking or considering of coming over to the Patreon, this is where you're going to want to do it, because Double Blind Ghost Quest, you're going to want to be a part of that.
Things get weird. Okay, if we don't see you there, and why would you want to miss that? We'll see you back here next Wednesday for an all-new episode of BCC. Until then, good night.
And go get regressed.
Bigfoot Collectors Club is produced by Riley Bray and Michael McMillan and scored and engineered by Riley Bray. Our theme song, Come Alone, is by Suneaters, courtesy of Lotuspool Records. Do us a favor and support the show and unlock 3 bonus episodes every month by becoming a member of our Patreon, BCC The Other Side, which can be found at patreon.com/BigfootCollectorsClub.